Yeah, howdy, folks. Today I'm going to give a description of the polygon primitives and essentially the difference between a polygon primitive and a duplicate object. To create an object, or primitive as it's called, I'm going to break off this window by clicking on the two double lines at the top, and then I'm going to select polygon primitives, click, and then notice the interactive creation is turned off, and I'm going to choose to create a torus object. Okay, so the torus object at the center screen has, I guess, what you could call history as inputs, where if we create a duplicate, you'll notice the inputs are not available on the duplicate. They would only be available on the original object. So in order to create a duplicate, the hotkey would be Control D or Command D on the Mac, or it's down here, duplicate. So if I close the window, one is right on top of the other. The hotkey for the Move tool is W on the keyboard. And okay, see our Torus 2, Polygon Torus 2, has no history elements that I can modify. It's not to say that I can't scale, rotate, translate, or select faces, move, extrude, modify. So they're both equal building blocks. It's just there's some powerful structure changes you may decide you need. If you wanted to have more faces here, you'd have to go and cut faces in half. You'd have to draw lines on here essentially. You'd have to do manually everything. Whereas if I've got my object with some history here, I can go into that history and make changes. Let's say if I wanted to change the radius, what I'm doing is clicking the word here, and then middle mouse button, I'm moving and changing the values, the inner radius. Here's where it starts to really get, okay, so see what it looks like? I can really ramp it up in terms of how much or how little, right? Divisions on the smaller, lighter, so you can almost create a variety of objects this way. So history can be very powerful, and you want to plan ahead on what you need. Alright, I'm going to delete this, backspace with the backspace key, and then I'm going to hit the bracket next to the P key and go back to my camera. I'm going to create a polygon primitive. This time instead I'm going to choose the pipe, but I'll take the options for the pipe. So you'll see now, close that window. Instead of building it and then making changes afterward, I could start out. You can see how this came up with all these other values in it. The last time I used this tool, that's how I had, for whatever reason, set it. Now, always consider resetting tools. These are the default. But whatever changes that you make here, it's going to be permanent until you reset, use, or change those values. Okay, so let's stay with default here. Create this object, F for frame, focus, and then under the inputs for pipe, we'll take a look at the radius, which is really kind of the size of the thing, the height, F, thickness. This isn't something you could change easily after the fact. You could. It would just take a bit of selecting the inside and scaling it down. Subdivisions, this would be really hard to add just one or two lines in there. So height and caps. So you can make all kinds of stuff if you prepare at the primitive stage. What you're going to do once you start modifying it, you can't come back and make these changes.